Hello to our lovely listeners. My name is Liz Bear, and I'm a co host on the C Word podcast, the Conservators podcast. And today I am here on our YouTube channel in order to do a review and an unboxing. Don't want to show you my dress. This is a package that was sent to me by BevArt. They have been kind enough to sponsor us in the past, but today is the day that I get to open a box. How do I open this box? I'm coming into this with a lot of the same information that you would as a customer, but this is a measure for temperature and relative humidity. But let's have a look at the box together. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We've got a charger. So I guess this is the cloud connector, and this is like what all of the different sensors go through. The wireless temperature and humidity sensor. Ooh, one just fell right out of there. Wow, look at how tiny that is. That is the size of a postage stamp.
The nano sensor weighs 2 grams and has a battery life of 10 years, measuring temperature and relative humidity every 15 minutes. It is the original sensor from BevArt and the smallest commercially available option for measuring environmental factors. The Pro sensor is their newest release and has all the same functionality as the Nano, though it is slightly bigger. This is because the Pro is specially designed to accommodate heritage sites with little to no power. The Pro supports an internal memory up to 30 days, which backfills once the power connection is reestablished. Setting up the devices is incredibly simple and can be done in 3 easy steps. First, plug in the cloud connector using the cable provided. Next, place your sensors in the desired location, out of the way and where they won't be disturbed. The third and final step is to log into the platform. Alright, right away I can see my 2 sensors and the cloud connector are all transmitting, though it's only been a few minutes so we won't have any data yet. I'm going to play around with the interface a bit, starting by organizing the sensors into buildings. I'm just going to fill in some details, say that my house is in Amsterdam. I could also include a floor plan or description of the building if I wanted to. Now I can see my house on the dashboard and I want to put those sensors inside of it. So I have to make a room for the building. It's just my living room. And then I can include the cloud connector, the Nano, and the Pro in that room. Ta-da! All organized. Now all that's left to do is wait for some data to collect, but in the meantime, why don't we sit down and learn some more about these lovely little sensors?
Absolutely. So, hi there. My name is Christian Nielsen. I'm one of the founders of BevArt, and we've built BevArt as a company specializing in cultural heritage.
I can already tell just looking at the website how easy it's going to be set up, which I really appreciate because I'm not much of a technology person, which I think if you've worked with conservators, perhaps that's something that you're already aware of.
Yes, it is. When we first started asking around conservators what they liked about their current setup, what they didn't like about it, the main thing that we got was we don't like how frequently we have to change batteries with existing systems, and we don't like bulkiness and size, or it's mainly the exhibitions people don't like the size,
Yeah.
and also the ease of use, as you said. So that's kind of where we started from.
So I can't experiment with this, but I'm wondering if it's possible. You have the ability to do limits in the website. So if it reaches a certain point, you'll get an alert or some kind of notification. For someone who is more technologically advanced, working at an institution that has like some kind of climate control system, would there be a way to hook up the nanosensor information so that when that alert happens, it changes the temperature of the room or whatever area?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
So the way we would do that would be that we have open APIs. That basically is that we offer the possibility to push our sensor data out to any existing systems that are able to receive an API.
So I've worked with some data loggers in the past, mostly just working with like the information that you get from a data logger. So this is my first time actually setting it up myself. Like I said, it's been very easy, but I'm curious, how do you get it so small?
It's a great question.
And if you would like to hear the answer, please check out our full interview with Christian up on our YouTube channel or the BevArt website, which you can find in the notes below. In the meantime, it's been about a week here at my house, and the sensors have been plodding along with their collecting data. And now it's time to take a look at what they've found. Here we are on the homepage of my account. Let's have a look at Liz's house. So the sensors have been collecting information for about 2 weeks now. Here we have the graph for the nano sensor, and then we can also compare it with the Pro. So here's the split graph. We can also do a quick overview of the sensor statistics. Here is a pie chart just at a glance of the temperature. If we exit out of this, we can also go to the settings, which allows you to add a description. You can even change the name of the sensor or add a photo of what the sensor looks like. This is also where you can make a rule for the sensors, which I mentioned in my interview with Christian, or make a quick report. Let's walk through making a quick report together. So I give the report a title. You can set the time range for the report as well, and then select which sensors you're going to include in the information. Then all I need is a description. I'm adding in a little information about where the sensors are located, next to a window, the window got opened, the radiator was never turned on, all those environmental factors that you might need a little bit of background information on. Then it looks like all there's left to do is select the kind of document that I want and wait for it to generate, which just takes a few moments before you have compiled a full report. Wow, this is so impressive. There's a summary right at the top that includes the description that I just typed out, as well as the temperature and relative humidity graphs for both of the sensors. And when you scroll down, you can see the individual reports for the sensors that I selected as well, including those at-a-glance pie charts, which I think are really useful. Well, no surprises here, folks. It looks like my living room is fairly consistent in temperature and relative humidity, which I'm happy to hear. But I want to put this to the test, so I'm going to try putting the sensor outside overnight and see how that affects these readings. All right, let's see what extremes we gathered in the middle of the night. Wow, okay, yeah, I can see the change in temperature and relative humidity very clearly now. When I compare the Nano with the Pro, it does seem that the Pro has more sensitivity, but I'm not unhappy with the information that the Nano has gathered. It's kept right in line with the Pro as well. Now that I have a firm understanding of how the system works, it's time to hit the road with our BevArt sensors and take them to the conservation studio where I work, which is just around the corner from the Rijksmuseum. I'm excited to set up the BevArt sensors in this space. We're going into the summer months now, which means we're going to have these big windows open sometimes, and I want to track how the temperature and relative humidity changes in the space over the course of the next few months. Initially, I decided to plug it in on a bookshelf, but later discovered that this connection wasn't stable. It was cutting in and out. I had to move the cloud connector into the main room where we work, and I placed it next to a window just to ensure that there's the most active connection possible. You can tell if the cloud connector is connected to signal by checking this light. Initially, when you plug it in and it's looking for the signal, it's going to flash, but then once it's connected, it will be consistent and stay on. Now, since these sensors are going to be hanging around here for a few months, I decided to expose the adhesive on the back and make a little mount for the sensors so they don't get lost or separated. All that's left to do is place the sensors, but I had a difficult time deciding where was best. The sensors do need to be within range of the cloud connector in order to send signal. But since it is a smaller space, we try to use as much of the space as possible to actually do our conservation work, and I don't want it to be in a location that gets in the way of that. In the end, I found this little ledge up on the wall, which is the perfect spot because it won't get disturbed and it can sit here for months on end. Additionally, it's right next to the window, so I'm hoping that it will pick up the most change in specifically relative humidity, but maybe temperature as well.
To close us out, let's talk about how much this system costs, because as a conservator, I understand that a luxury item like this might be a bit of a stretch, but fortunately, BevArt has taken that into consideration and supports both private conservators
and institutions. The month-long trial period is available to all. Similar to the experience I shared in this video, it will also include a consultation with BevArt about your options going forward. The subscription model is a flexible and cost-effective option for smaller institutions or private conservators. The yearly subscription is £165, €195, or $225 per unit. There are also discounted unit prices available when ordering larger quantities.
And then anyone, but mostly this would be useful to institutions, can contact the lovely people at BevArt in order to get a custom package and pricing. But BevArt is very eager to support institutions, and in an effort to do that at all financial levels, they are offering a program where you can turn in your current data logger detector system, whatever system it is. You can send it to them, and then you'll get a discount when you get the custom package. And then on top of that, BevArt will take all of your original data from those old sensors and upload it onto your interface that you can access through the website, so you'll have all of that history loaded in. I'm quite impressed with BevArt, and I think that it's genuinely a very easy system to use, but I can easily see lots of different applications, again, not only for institutions, but also for private conservators, especially through the yearly package. You can find all the information you need through the BevArt website, which I've included in a link below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We're really excited to be posting more things on YouTube, so please subscribe and give this video a like. It means a lot to us. And of course, you can always listen to the podcast over on Spotify and Apple as well. So thank you again, both to our listeners and to BevArt.